tacos like every day.
I've heard about that. It actually looks kind of appetizing, but I've just never been sort of brave enough to try it at home.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's pretty good.
So
Japanese eggs definitely taste different than American eggs do.
I had to fucking look that up. There's still salmonella in Japan.
Okay, that's what people say at least. All right, I don't know.
There's been a significant
right?
decrease from 2000 to 2010, so they definitely did something to try and decrease it. It says, however, it still ranks as one of the top 3 bacterial agents of disease.
Well, I don't know how people are shitting themselves constantly because they do that shit all the time. There's like whole restaurants just like here's an egg, here's a rice, here's a bench.
Yeah, I think there's. It's just like with most things, right? You can like work with drugs in a sterile environment. You can work with food as long as you're being like clean about the way you do it. Like you can eat anything raw as long as you do certain things to prepare it.
Yeah.
And if you just kind of like know the story of it, you're not just getting like a mystery egg.
Yeah, if you know where the egg came from and that place scans for salmonella frequently, you could say they probably don't have it.
The same thing's true for unpasteurized like milk too.
There's a black market for unpasteurized milk in the U.S.
Why? Is that like unvaccinated semen or something? Like
no, it's just because it's illegal. I think
that's probably it. But I think there are some very loose benefits like the microbiomes and shit like that.
Yeah, it's the whole probiotic thing. Like there's living cells like in milk.
I think you can get
sweet fucking yogurt.
Right. Exactly. Eat anything else that's unpasteurized. Yeah.
But they want it, man. It's the fucking the culture of tit to table now. They just want it straight from the udder.
Oh my god,
that's so weird.
Have you watched Hunger? I think it's called on Hulu.
Hunger?
Yeah, it's got Sebastian Stan in it. Hold on, maybe it's not Hunger.
A taste of
hunger?
It's
called Fresh. It's called Fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah.
No, but I will add it to the list.
It's pretty interesting, and I'm actually genuinely curious if there are groups of people like that. It's about cannibalism. It's about eating people. But
what is?
I might have
Fresh.
I might have mentioned it in one of our episodes, but Rebecca and I were driving back from a road trip, and she likes the murder mysteries, and we were listening to like one of the episodes about this Japanese dude who was like obsessed with eating somebody since he was a kid, and eventually ended up doing it.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that guy.
And he was
I
like,
think I read something about it. Yeah.
He was in Europe, and his parents were fairly well off, so he was going to like a good school and stuff. Like he fell for this girl. He's like, I have to eat this girl. And he tried to eat her, and she was like 1.5 feet taller than him. It just fucking like decked him and bounced, and then sued him. Parents like they all settled and stuff. Then he does it again like a year later. Ends up killing the girl, getting caught. Yeah, ends up killing the girl, like eating half of her, and like over the course of a few days. Then it's like, oh, now she's rotting. I gotta get rid of her. And then like,
he's just a fucking celebrity now, right?
Yeah. So
he like goes on podcasts.
He gets caught, and then France extradites him to Japan. Japan is like, hey, France, give us all the court documents so we could try him here. And France is like, no. They're like, okay, so we can't put him in Japanese jail. And France is like, I don't care. So they put him in like a psych ward for a year, and then he left. And then he just kept getting like interviews and like all this shit about like, hey, you're a cannibal and a murderer. Tell us.
Hey,
more.
You remember when you murdered that girl?
Yeah.
Wasn't that neat?
Wasn't it neat?
What did it feel like?
I mean, you called him a celebrity.
I mean, yeah, he gets fucking interviews and shit, man.
Yeah, I think he tried to like he either like tried to make a manga, or was in like some sort of manga, or like was on like a weekly or monthly journal or something about all this shit. So he really rode that shit to fame, and then he's still alive, I think, and I think he's like fucked and in a wheelchair, like so all these medical issues.
He deserves it. I mean, what if the cannibalism did that? Like, it's pretty bad for you.
What if cannibalism? What?
What if the cannibalism gave him medical problems?
Maybe.
Say deserved.
Yeah, I mean, like, cows eating cows means mad cow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that'll happen. I think there was like prion diseases that were going around in like the cannibals in some part of the world or something something similar.
I mean, who hasn't consumed a little bit of human flesh here and there?
I mean, I guess we all do every day, right?
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Would you try it?
It just takes a little bit to get a prion, man.
Wasn't there like a fucking Adult Swim episode on what was it? Turner and Hooch? Not Turner and Hooch. There was some Adult Swim show where they had the kind cannibals who only ate like what's it called? Like your fucking appendix and your coccyx and stuff. Vestigial organs. Yeah, they only ate vestigial organs.
They got removed in surgery.
Yeah, I think they were like camping out a hospital or someone worked there and like got all the fucking organs out of there.
Interesting.
Wow.
It was pretty funny.
I do know that there was a guy on Reddit who had to get his foot amputated, and he requested his foot back, and he cooked it with his friends. And
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah.
If I had
Okay.
to-
Would you do that?
hell yeah,
Yeah.
that's my foot. Like I can do whatever I want with it.
Would you eat his foot?
Would I eat my friend's foot? Oh man.
If the doctor said that Justin's foot is safe to eat, and Justin was like, "I'm grilling it anyways," maybe try it.
Man, you.
Like, Justin would have to put in all the effort, and if I just show up and there's like foot tacos,
Dude.
I'd say I would take a bite, but I don't know. It's like one of those things where you'd say like sure or no, but then you encounter it and like you might just like completely have a different reaction to the person.
Yeah.
If I had to eat if I had my own foot amputated, hell yeah, I would cook and eat it my own. If Allan did it, I don't know if I would eat Allan's, but that seems way weirder to me for some reason I can't really vocalize.
I get it, man. I get it.
I would not eat my own foot.
Oh, okay.
I get it, man.
I don't know. Feet are gross.
Feet are
Maybe-
gross.
Yeah, feet are pretty gross. I don't even want to eat chicken's feet. I don't know if I would eat a human foot. What are you going to eat? The heel? The heel meat?
No, so if you cut off
I
your
think there
foot,
wouldn't be any good
it's
meat.
like,
Yeah.
imagine
There's
this
like
is
no good
your-
meat in the foot.
like
Yeah,
look
for
at
like
your
eating
foot,
tendons and
like
stuff.
this part, like from like heel to like the base of your toes. There's a lot of meat there.
See, we should be doing this during an episode because then we can get the feet market.
Sure.
Can't hear you, Justin.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's probably a good chunk of muscle like in this like fleshy part.
I don't know, man. I think you don't. It would be so gristly. It would just be so gristly, and every time you hit a tendon, you would remember, this is my foot. Every single time. Every time that I hit a tendon in chicken, I remember, this is a chicken.
Right, but that's like part of the experience, right? Like,
A pleasant one.
one time, like, it was kind of gross, but it was interesting. It was really neat. Like, yeah, I like going to shitty fucking local pizza places. Not because they're good, but because they're like interesting.
Okay, some of them are good.
Some of them are good, yeah. Maybe foot's really good, and we just don't know
It's
it.
true. Maybe it is.
But then, would you want to know that? I guess.
Like if somebody was like, "Here, I got a piece of big toe for you." It's a quick one. Just a quick little. Maybe foot jerky.
Maybe.
I remember I went to this. It was like this kind of ramen place or something like that, and they had this like special, like this kind of special thing that they were doing that day. And the guy came out and was explaining it, and like he called it head cheese. And like when I first heard it, I was like, head cheese. Oh, that's probably like some type of cheese. That sounds good. But it was actually just like the random like parts of a pig that are like on its face, like
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gross.
And, Yeah, I almost lost my whole appetite after I understood like what that actually meant.
Very good.
I think I was able to eat something else, but I just like I was not happy like to learn what head cheese actually meant.
That sounds terrible. But who knows?
Yeah.
Was it good? Was it tasty?
No, I didn't have it. No, I was actually annoyed at the guy that he it's the only time in my life where it's like somebody comes out and like explains the menu like what they have that day. Like it's the only time in my life I've actually been annoyed at the guy doing that. Just because I was so unhappy with his suggestion. It's like
It's like, I really recommend the head cheese. You're like, get away
he
from me,
did.
sir.
Yeah, he did really recommend the head cheese.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's basically how it went. Except I said that on the inside and not the outside.
I've been watching a shit ton of Bob's Burgers. And do you guys watch any like podcasts or listen to any D&D podcasts?
No D&D. I listen to the 538 podcast every once in a while when they have a cool topic or whatever.
What's that? What's 538?
538 is like it's like a political blog that covers a lot of statistics and shit.
Oh, okay.
Like
So it's just like a general podcast, like informational podcast.
yeah, kind of.
I see some people link me to like clips on various social media of like little bits of D&D podcasts or like D&D live games, but I don't regularly check out a podcast.
I've been listening to the Dimension 20 stuff, Dropout TV. It's like College Humor, like made their own thing. The guy who was running it, who is DMing it, is now the host for Critical Role. That like, I don't know, really famous one. The one that got an Amazon series made after their thing.
Right.
I've never really listened to any of them, but this one was pretty fun. It was like it is a space like fantasy game.
Is it?
It's really weird.
Is it a podcast of the story, or is it a podcast of them playing?
It's
which I
them
guess
playing.
includes the story.
So it's based off of an old comic book series called Starstruck, which is like this old like sci-fi comic book series that apparently this dude, his mom wrote it like back in the 70s or 80s, and so he used that as the setting, and it's kind of like an anarchistic like cyberpunk future, but everybody is in space kind of thing. But very like weird and alien, and you know, there's like psychic shit and stuff, and they turned it into an actual D&D game. They used this thing called Tailspire to like do battles and stuff when they do the actual battle maps. It's fucking dope. It's like a full, like it's like Roll20 but on steroids. The kind of shit that you can do with the Tailspire setup is really cool.
Interesting. I mean, I was actually thinking about this the other day. It's pretty insane, like how well some D&D DMs like create stories and stuff, and how like the players can fit that story and like build a whole world. I think I linked it in the ALC chat. That guy who has like a 45-year long, maybe not that long, but like 20+ year long D&D campaign. It's like the longest in the world currently.
That's insane. That's awesome.
And his version, his world is like an alternate version of Earth, and like the players could be like kings and stuff, and you know, there's I think like Rome never fell and like Greece never fell and all that sort of shit. It's really cool.
I think one of the commonalities that I'm seeing with a lot of these, like a lot of the ones that run really well, a lot of the groups that run really well, is that everybody's trying to tell a story together. Everybody has these individual parts that they're telling, but they're all telling this like overall story, and the group works well together with each other. Like there's a lot of leeway that the dungeon master gives and a lot of leeway that the players give in order to be like, hey, this is much better for the story. instead of just like completely sticking to the rules. And I think those are the games that run for the longest. If you're playing it like a board game and you're only worried about like the numbers and rolling dice, then I think you're not going to get a lot of longevity out of it because D&D is just boring for that. But these games that are about like creating this world and telling this story together seem to have a lot of longevity in it.
One concept that I've always found kind of cool is if there's like DMs that have multiple campaigns going on at the same time, but they're in the same world, and then like the impact, like the effect of like one party's actions will be like apparent or influential on the other campaigns too.
Yeah, that'd be super fucking cool. I did one game a long ass time ago when I was like before I moved to Maryland. We did it overnight, so it was like an 18-hour game for like somebody's going away thing. But we had 2 games running. Both games had like 6 people in them simultaneously in the same house, but in different places, and they were happening at the same time, like in the in-game world. Oh, nice. It was a super fun adventure. There were like these 2 guys that decided to do it together, and they like DM together, but you know, separate parties. And then at the end, there was like this big battle royale between everybody.
That's pretty dope.
Cap it off. It was fun.
That's pretty dope. Yeah.
I don't remember who's that dungeon master that I was watching do that.
I really liked the game that Chan DM'd, mostly because I loved Cocoa. I've actually been writing little short stories with him about Cocoa and his adventures. I actually think you had one of the coolest characters, at least one of the coolest personalities, Christopher, in that game. I think that was the Baron and Darren game. I like that guy.
I don't know if I played. Did I play in that one?
Yeah, I believe you were Baron and Darren, the guy who would change personalities when he was looking.
No, Baron Darren was my stupid fucking character. Like that was my dwarf, I think.
I do remember the campaign where I did play a character that had 2 personalities. I do remember.
I don't remember his name though.
It was like a weird Moon Knight spin-off. That's what I was going for. I don't remember his name either.
Oh, I guess Justin was Baron. I don't remember. I guess I don't remember his name either. But that was a good character. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, that was fun.
The DM I was thinking of is named Koibu.
Koibu?
Oh, Koibu. Yeah, I know Koibu.
Yeah.
Good for them, though. People coming up with like stories and shit like that, sticking to it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really cool to watch them just get built.
I think Vin Diesel played his character for like 20 years. I think his character got like a miniseries or something. I think that was the movie, like the Witch something, Witch Slayers or something like that. The Last Witch Hunter, yeah. Which I think was not a great movie, or was it?
I mean, it was based off of a man's D&D character.
The film grossed 147 million worldwide while receiving generally unfavorable reviews from critics.
Vin Diesel was hot shit for a good while, man.
You know, this was in 2015. I believe that's like peak Fast and Furious Vin Diesel.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
Well, there's a while where he just got to do his own thing, and he made a bunch of like movies. He made a bunch of Riddick movies. Mm-hmm. He made that, and he just kind of like, they all sucked. They were all terrible.
What Riddick?
I actually like some of the Riddick sequels.
I thought Riddick was okay, man. What the fuck?
The first one was really good. Like
the first one's really good. Pitch Black is very good.
But like, I mean, at that point, who cares? Like, obviously, you want it to be fantastic. You want everyone to love your work. But if you're like an actor and you have like some zany ideas, and someone's like, "Here's $100 million to do your zany idea,"
the anime stuff was kind of cool too. Dark Fury.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember Pitch Black is very good, and then Chronicles of Riddick, man, and I've never seen the new one, Riddick.
I think I like that one.
The new one?
The 2013 one? Yeah, I thought it was good.
Let's see.
Maybe I'm confusing that with Chronicles of Riddick.
The Chronicles of Riddick is the one oh they both have Carl Urban in them.
Vin Diesel is in 5 movies at least from now until 2024. 2 Marvel movies, 2 Avatar movies, and 1 Fast and Furious movie.
He's in Marvel movies? What is he doing in Marvel?
He's Groot.
He's the voice of Groot.
Oh, duh. Okay.
And he apparently voices Groot in every language. So he'll just be like, I'm Groot, I'm Groot. Yo soy Groot, yo soy Groot. And he just dubs himself for every language. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard, right? You just say Groot a bunch with a different accent.
I would like to see an interview with him complaining about like how hard it was to learn every language. And just complete deadpan, and then it'll like cut to him like just saying I'm Groot in different languages.
Oh, and he's the like face of Ark now.
Yeah.
The dinosaur survival game. He's in the
R2.
Netflix series. What? Elliot Page, Carl Urban, and Michelle Yeoh are also in it, and Russell Crowe. What the fuck?
That's either gonna be sick or just like everyone getting a payday.
Everybody, dude. Malcolm McDowell, David Tennant, Jeffrey Wright.
So is Elliot Page the new name for Ellen Page?
Yeah.
I don't know he was still going to be acting. I guess that makes sense that he would.
I mean,
Yeah, he's in this season or the new season of Umbrella Academy.
Huh.
dude, holy Christ, that's a fucking baller lineup.
I know, seriously.
David Tennant, Russell Crowe, Alan Tudyk. I assume if David Tennant's in there, like, people will at least take it seriously. Although he's kind of a silly guy, presumably.
Yeah, the nerds would take it seriously. I don't know about like normies.
He's a very good actor.
I don't know. Russell Crowe seems to be really enjoying his turn as Zeus.
Oh, did everybody get their free copy of Ark?
No, I checked it when you said it earlier. It was not free.
Oh, what?
Where? On Epic?
Steam.
I think I already own it on Steam.
Ark Survival Evolved, $29.99. Sad days.
Oh, rip.
Dang.
I mean, you already had Ark, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that like a co-op like survival game or something?
It's like it's co-op. It's a persistent world survival crafting game. So like you all exist on one island, and even when you log out, your character still exists in that island, like as a physical thing. But you can like tame dinosaurs and like build houses and craft things. And
So what's the difference between that and Rust then? Because you literally just described Rust minus dinosaurs.
dinosaurs is a big one. Also, Ark. I haven't played it in a long time, but it went super hard into the sci-fi. Like, there's jetpacks and laser guns and like robo dinosaurs and like all kinds of crazy shit. The Ark 2 seems to be keeping it in the like dinosaur time. I always thought that was way fucking cooler than, I don't know,
Then Dino Sci-Fi.
than Dino Sci-Fi. But Dino Sci-Fi is pretty fucking cool, I guess.
I mean, there's a very specific niche for that stuff. But I think if you just focus on the general, like, dino
But the
shit-
game's, it's fun though, right? It's like, it's fun to build, it's fun to grind
Right.
resources so you can build stuff. It's fun to tame a dinosaur and then ride on its back or have it come hunting with you.
Mhm.
It's like, I don't know. I enjoyed it for a while. It's one of those really fun. I want another game like that, like WoW, that like people just like come in to hang out in.
Justin and I talked about that actually briefly a little earlier tonight, but that's going to touch a bit on his subject. So let's table it till Tuesday.
Okay.
Just like save that feeling and that argument for a couple days.
I think I was reading like the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core War for the first time not too long ago. You know what's really amazing about that is like how well that whole narrative of that game supports like the events of Final Fantasy VII in the flashbacks, and they like barely need. I don't think they really need to change anything major. It's just like they just like kind of filled in like a whole story that makes perfect sense. And from what I was reading, it seemed like it was good.
Story wise or gameplay wise?
Well, story wise, I've never played Crisis Core, but I'm going to probably when it comes out.
It does look good, yeah. I've never.
Wait, are they making Crisis Core?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's getting the remake treatment, even not even just a remaster.
Yeah, scroll up in the chat. There's some stuff about
it. They also announced Part 2 for remake. It's called Rebirth, and it's coming out probably next year.
Man, I'm still waiting on Path of Exile 2. That shit got announced in like 2018 or something.
Sally, have you played Intergrade?
No.
I played through the whole game, and I really I want to know if it's worth it to play through it again because all the Yuffie stuff that they added.
I started it. If I'm honest, it got a little boring. Mostly because there was just such a long pause between the two games that I kind of forgot the intricacies of like combat and stuff, which was kind of annoying. But also like at the very beginning, before you leave like the city, like the Midgar slum, you have to do a bunch of like the Condor minigame, which is actually a really fun minigame. But then I was like, well, I have to like fight fucking 7 people. I'll do this later. And then every time I logged into the game, I was like, I gotta fucking keep doing this Condor shit. Like I'll do it later.
That's part of Intergrade though, right? Because I never touched that when I played through the game. I didn't even know that it existed.
Really? Maybe I'm on a side quest that I think is like part of the main quest.
What game were you guys talking about?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
The Yuffie part.
Yeah, so I never did that part. I never did the Yuffie part at all. So that was part of the Yuffie part, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So where does that part plug in even? Because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get my save again, which sucks because I actually like almost 100%ed it. I got that like I got that thing that start like fills where you start the battle with your limit break full.
Oh, that's nice.
You have to like beat like all the bosses in the simulator for it. I think that save is just gone now.
That's the other thing. That game was fun as fuck. Like it was really, really good to play. And I feel like maybe if you jump back, I'm gonna pick up Remake Intergrade on Steam maybe and play through it again.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. So Intergrade I know is like the PS5 version, right?
Well, it's like the complete edition, but it has the Yuffie stuff in it.
Gotcha.
I don't know if the Yuffie stuff came as like a separate add-on or if it was just like you had to buy Intergrade.
I don't know. I think I bought something for that. I think I got upgraded to Intergrade, and I think I had to buy the Yuffie thing. Because I got like, since I bought the game, I got like a free PS5 upgrade, but I don't remember if that included the Yuffie thing. I can look into it. Actually, I can do that now, I think. Let's see. PlayStation. Thank you for your purchase. Fucking 7 million emails.
What is that? What part of the game does that plug in? Like, is it at the end or?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. So, were you saying you were playing it?
I was playing what?
Were you playing just the Yuffie thing, or does that can you access that from the main game as somehow?
It's DLC, so it's you open up the main game, and then like there's like the Yuffie part.
Where does that happen? At what part of the story does it happen?
The Yuffie stuff?
Oh, I think he's saying a different I think he's saying it's a different menu option.
Oh, it's a different menu option. I think it happens concurrently with like other parts of the story. I don't think it's.
Oh, so okay, so it's like a standalone thing. You don't
Yes.
even need to. Okay.
As again, I'm only like 40 minutes into it, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's.
Yeah, I wonder if I got that upgrade with PS5.
Yeah, I bought it on Steam, and I have no idea. I have the original game, and I have not played it like at all.
Original remake, like the one on PS4 or whatever.
Yeah.
Something that I understand for like the first time since I was like kind of studying it last week is I actually understand why Zack was fighting Shinra. That was always a question mark for me before that. I was like, why is Zack fighting Shinra? Didn't make sense. But I think I get it now.
Don't they explain that in? I guess that's kind of like Crisis Core. I remember there being this like little animated vignette that is essentially what's happening in Crisis Core in this part where like Shinra comes after Zack and Cloud when they figure out what's going on with the clones.
Well, my understanding was they just like after they fought Sephiroth. Well, how spoilery is this? It's kind of Final Fantasy VII like lore, but
Has anybody not finished Final Fantasy VII at all?
The original, the remake.
I guess the original, right?
Yeah, maybe the original. It's not in the remake yet.
I think so. I was catching up on the story because I remember like I think it was a couple days ago whenever you guys linked the new trailers and stuff. I was like, I honestly don't remember that much of the story. It's been so long.
That's how I started reading.
Yeah. So Zack was a soldier like Cloud, and they were injected with. I think they were injected with the Genova, like the Genova is kind of like the gene seed. They're injected with the Genova, and that makes them want to find Sephiroth, and like I think that makes them want to find Genova, but then like because Sephiroth is like the mother.
Well, I always took it as it that so. They were injected with it, but it was the cells that were used to also create Sephiroth, because
right.
He is like a creation that was made from the cells of Genova, and that's why he calls it his mother. Right. So Shinra was using the Genova serum to try and create soldiers because they were stronger and faster, and they were super soldiers. Like the stuff that Cloud can do is not stuff that like most normal humans can do, and it's because he's a soldier from having those things injected in him. So it's not like it's not like, is it a byproduct of the serum that they start to seek out Genova, or is it just because they figured out what was happening?
So Genova's an alien, and they thought that she was I think it's called the Cetra, which is like one of the ancients. That's what Eris is.
Okay, so they thought that she was like an ancient that lived on the planet, but it turns out that she came from a different planet, right? Because she fell out of a meteor.
She's an alien who fell into the crater that meteor created. That like you do the end game content in at the very end of the original Final Fantasy VII. Like that crater was created by her arriving on the planet. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then
She's talking about Genova, right?
Yeah. Then she almost wipes out the ancients. Eris and a couple other people are left, and there's a thing in her genes. It's like she arrives on a planet, and then like her cells seek out organisms and like take them over and like bring them back to her. It's just, she's kind of like a hive mind. So when the soldiers are injected with her serum, they end up going to Sephiroth because Sephiroth has like created from her in utero, and he kind of like takes over that hive mind part of Genova. It's kind of confusing, and I'm not explaining it super well, but pretty much
I think that's largely right for Sephiroth. But the part that I was always wondering about was like, why if Zack is like a soldier, like how to get at odds with Shinra? And the answer is actually pretty simple. It's like, so Cloud and Zack fight Sephiroth at the reactor,
Right.
And then they're both like I think they're both unconscious at one point. And then Shinra just abducts them, takes them into the mansion, and starts doing like experiments on them.
Yeah.
And then they escape. And so just by getting their freedom, by escaping the mansion, now they're allowed to Shinra because Shinra's what abducted them and started.
Shinra
experimenting on them.
owns Soldier.
Right.
So like it's exactly that. It's because Shinra's experimenting on the 4 Soldier.
And then and so Cloud actually wasn't already a soldier at that point. And I think the type
He was
of
just like a grunt, right?
yeah, the type of experiments that they're doing on them is similar to the types of things that they would do to create soldiers, but they're trying new ones, I guess. And because Zack had already had that done, like Zack was still conscious after the experiments, but Cloud was like really fucked up. So Zack was basically like dragging this like comatose like zombie with him.
Well, Cloud is very susceptible to that like Genova call, and that's why like there's so many instances of him in the game like grabbing his head and like shaking it, and that's why like he helps Sephiroth with the black materia and stuff. But Zack, for some reason, I don't remember reading about a reason other than them saying for some reason.
Well,
he was very not immune, but it just didn't really affect him that much.
I think what Nate is saying is that Zack had the soldier treatment right from the start. Like he had the Genova treatment, so he already had some of it. Cloud was just a normal person, like a regular person that they just jammed Genova cells into, and that's why he's having a hard time with it, I think.
Gotcha.
And then like right when Cloud starts to come around, like that's when by that time they've already gotten back to Midgar. And then like it's right around, and then like outside of Midgar, that's where there's this like that's where Zack fights all the Shinra soldiers, and then Cloud kind of is so confused, and he thought that's where he starts becoming confused about who's Zack and who's Cloud. And I also think that because they both had the cells, and they like when Zack handed Cloud the Buster Sword, they like touched, and like there's like some sort of memory like fusion there too, because they both had like the same like Genova cells. So
that makes sense with the hive mind stuff, especially like because it's this idea that all of Genova cells, regardless of where they are in the world, are all connected in some way.
Right,
and that's why they have like, and so because Sephiroth is so pure as a soldier, or like with the because he was created from the Genova cells rather than having them introduced into his body, he has more power over it, the connection, and so that's why he's able to get Cloud and stuff to do that stuff for them. And I guess that would also make sense because like if they were connected in some way, Cloud just being like shoved, because Cloud remembers when he was a kid. He remembers that stuff clearly.
Right.
And for when he was a teenager. The only stuff that he has trouble with is around the time that he joined Soldier and all of the events that him and Zack shared in Soldier. Is that the name of the forces, the special forces?
The soldier?
Yeah, they are soldier.
The soldier.
Yeah, the soldier. Yeah, okay.
But I don't think Cloud actually made it into soldier though.
He made it into.
I believe he was.
The special forces. He was just not an elite soldier.
Cloud was he's referred to as like ex-soldier at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah,
well,
but I think
that's because he thinks that he's Zack.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah,
So,
I thought that he was just like a Shinra army guy, which was not part. I thought Soldier was the Mako guys specifically.
Okay, so Soldier is the name of the army. A first class soldier is one that has the Mako in them.
Well, I believe Mako is different from Genova because Mako is like the planet's like the magic
planet
source,
energy?
and that's what turns people into monsters, and Genova is what turns them into like super soldiers.
But they have Mako poisoning. They all have Mako. Like that was the thing about Cloud's eyes, right?
Well, I think it's actually both. Yeah, so I think the soldiers have Mako, but some of the soldiers, it's like that's like one technique that they have to make super soldiers, and that's like all the soldiers get Mako. But then some of them also have Genova cells. And I actually thought that was the difference between soldiers first class and other soldiers. The soldiers first class were the ones with like the alien cells.
Well,
Yeah,
hold
I'm
on.
just realizing this soldier thing is a lot more complicated.
So it looks like you were right about him not being soldier. Despite his bravado, Cloud failed to make it into soldier, enlisting as a mere Shinra infantryman instead. And then
Shinra infantry. Okay.
skip. In autumn of that year, Cloud met Zack Fair, a first-class soldier, on their way to Motoheim. Skip. Cloud gave pursuit, but both he and Sang, the leader of the Turks, were taken down by a rogue soldier, first class Angel Hewley. I believe that's part of like the Crisis Core story. There's like a bunch of
because the only thing you know that him and Zack find out that Sephiroth is onto something. Sephiroth burns down the mansion, murders a bunch of people because he finds out that he was like a test tube baby.
Right.
And then they chase him to the reactor, which is not an actual reactor, but like a reactor / experiment place, because that's where the monsters are. Right?
Right.
So, yeah, so they chase him there because that's where he's like realized, part of Genova's body is here, and I can hear her. He goes to her and then almost kills Cloud and Zack. They kidnap him, take him to a different Shinra mansion?
No.
They're just the mansion and the reactor are different things.
Right.
But I thought he burned down he burned down the town.
He burns down the town. He burns
down the mansion.
They go back to the mansion. They go in the basement, and like the basement's like where all the files and the secrets were kept. So then like Sephiroth's like, oh wait, what? No, what's going on? No. And then he's like, this is I'm gonna burn it all down. And then he burns the town down. And then I think after that, he goes to the reactor. And then like there's like blood in his wake. And then like Cloud goes up to pass the reactor where the Genova test tube is. Speaking of which, you know that little like angelic robot thing in front of the test tube? That's called the Genova doll. I found out.
Yeah, she's just like the massive cells behind it, right?
Yeah, there's like
the actual Genova.
The actual Genova is like that weird head connected to like those weird organs in like that test tube. But I think he cuts off her head and just like takes her body at that point.
Or takes
something like that. I can never remember my way around to Alley. I fucking hate this place.
They didn't have to give the Genova doll nipples, but they did anyway.
Yeah, it's Japan.
Well, Japan has never heard of the phrase of more useless than nipples on a breastplate.
They have not. They said, what if we put an eyeball there instead? I'll be right back. I gotta go check on the dog and stuff.
What I'm trying to remember now is how Vincent got the way he got, because that's kind of related to that story too.
Vincent was
Yeah.
he was, I believe, in love with the mother of Sephiroth. I don't remember if he was also like a soldier or what, but he was in love with the mother of Sephiroth, and like I think she got pregnant by Dr. Hojo, who was like the mad scientist. And then he got really sad. Sephiroth was born, and then he saw that as like a shame, his shame to carry, and like his burden to carry, like that shame of her. I think she got like raped, and then like she got injected with stuff, Genova cells, into in vitro Sephiroth. So he just like puts himself in a coffin, then gets like experimented on. I think he almost dies and gets experimented on. Wait, no. He's injected with cells, and then there's an experiment. I think there's like a chaos experiment, because there's like another life force on the planet called Chaos. There's a chaos experiment, and because he's already had like some Genova cells, he was able to survive it. But then like the whole like Sephiroth thing kind of made him depressed, and then he just put himself in a coffin for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's right. So it was like Hojo was like doing stuff that would like made him. He was basically doing the type of experience that would like turn him into a monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so,
then,
he was actually a Turk, not a soldier.
Yeah. Then it was like Lucerina used the Chaos Mako thing.
Yeah, and the girl that he liked,
I wonder where she got that.
He fell in love with her, but she wasn't raped. Like she realized that there was like some relationship between like her family and like his family, so she kind of distanced herself. Then she got pregnant by Professor Hojo, which is the mad scientist. And then it looks like Hojo shot Vincent in the chest after an argument because Vincent didn't like Hojo using human test subjects. Then Hojo started doing experiments on him after he shot him in the chest. And then that's when he started injecting him with like the chaos to see if that could work for him. That's why.
Did you play some of these games? Did you play before Crisis?
I played a little bit of Before Crisis, but I never played Dirge of Cerberus. So Before Crisis happens before Final Fantasy VII, and then Dirge of Cerberus happens at like 2 years after, I think, and that follows. That's like where the Vincent is the main protagonist. But so Chaos is the thing that that's why Vincent's limit breaks. You know, he turns into monsters,
right?
And then you can't control him anymore. That's like because he's infused with Chaos. And his ultimate or his level 4 limit break is like that demon thing. That's like the true form of Chaos. I think he ends up being able to control it in the Dirge of Cerberus sequel game.
But that was like a it's like a materia kind of thing, right? Like a make. So it's like an aspect of the life stream, I guess.
Chaos?
Yeah.
I think like it's like the counterpart to the life stream, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think the life stream is just the planet's power, and I think the planet is sentient in that game, and like Chaos is like, I don't know if Chaos is like part of the sentience or like just like a sort of like a power that like resides around the planet, but that's not part of it.
It's like something like fire or ice or lightning.
Right.
It's an element.
But it's distinct from the weapons, because the weapons in that game were like part of the planet's own self-defense system, or it's like, oh shit, we're fucked, send out a bunch of weapons, and like the weapons are supposed to like fix whatever's screwing over the planet.
Who made the weapons?
There's actually, in the Dirge of Cerberus sequel, there's actually I think it is the Omega weapon that's not in the regular Final Fantasy. That weapon is supposed to like transform all life on the planet into like that life stream power, suck it up, and then blast into space and populate another planet. That's like the Armageddon like push the button reset type of solution that the planet has for itself. It's pretty cool. There is like you said, Nate, there's quite a lot more to the story than I kind of realized, especially since first time I played this game was as a kid, so I was just like la la la.
Yeah.
I really think there are actually like two completely different methods of like the super soldier thing. I think it's like Mako's one, and then the Genova cells is like an entirely different one. And I think that's why there's some of like the protagonist soldiers that are stronger than the other ones, right? Like Sephiroth, and there are a few other examples. But like, the other soldiers are like kind of enhanced, but not like to the same degree.
So, one's through magic, one's through aliens.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this Omega weapon thing, I've actually never read about this before.
Yeah, I never knew about it until this week either. It's just 'cause I never played that Dirge of Cerberus game.
So that's what Vincent's trying to like deal with in that game.
Do you think this next one's still going to end with him falling into the life stream?
I don't know. I think they're setting up to retcon a lot of it. I don't know. Eris dying is really important for the story.
Yeah.
Dude,
They're not doing that.
I don't know. All that voiceover that they're doing about like I think it was it Tifa that was talking about it? Like I thought you were dead or you died or something.
Right.
Is it Tifa that they're talking about? But it seems too weird to have it in this version where we all thought Eris was gonna die.
I think they want to retcon it, maybe for like future sequels and stuff. Maybe she dies then. I don't know, because they might start like the Final Fantasy like saga concurrently with like, because Final Fantasy 15 is coming out soon. Or no, 16. 16.
Eris dying is like the central like event of Final Fantasy VII. They can't change it. I think even like the developers have said that.
It's not just that, but it's also like in the entire gaming industry. I think it's one of the most important things to happen in like gaming story in the past fucking 20 years.
Yeah, she has to die. At least in like one universe. Maybe they can set up like an alternate universe where she doesn't fucking die. Or like fucking DLC.
Well, I think that's what they're doing, because they keep talking about like, you know, different timelines or different outcomes, or like we can see the future and change the past, or we can't change the past, but we can change the future type of shit.
I guess, man. Maybe.
But I don't know, man. Like,
I'd really prefer it if every time they tried to change something, it just fought back and nothing ever changed, and they just remake the entire game.
But apparently, everyone in the game was supposed to die, except for your 3 party members. Like at the end of the original story, everyone was supposed to die except for those 3. So whoever was in your party,
the ones you pick though, right?
Yeah. So I think Eris was supposed to die when she dies, and then the rest die except your party. So Cloud plus 2 others, probably Tifa and Barrett, for most people.
My party was Tifa and Yafe.
Her final limit break just sucked. It just do like one hit.
My Yafe wasn't even level 99 either. I just used like health up materia. But Cloud did everything, honestly.
There's some pretty cheese strats you could do in that game, especially with like maxed out materia. But yeah, the guy who wrote the like Eris's death, is the one though. Is ironically enough, he's the guy who fought back on like the plan to kill everybody else. He's like, guys, we killed one. That's enough. We don't have to murder everybody. But it's pretty fascinating, the whole story and stuff, and the development, all that shit. I just think they are gonna retcon it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. So, chaos is. So, Vincent's like final limit break is like one of the weapons.
Yeah, it's like,
It's a chaos weapon.
yeah.
Huh. That kind of makes Vincent like worse than Sephiroth, right? It's like, gotta destroy everybody on the planet now, so we can go to a different one. Okay.
Well, all right, gentlemen, I'm gonna head to bed. Let's shoot for Tuesday,
Tuesday.
and we'll go
Okay.
from there.
Do we have a time that we're thinking?
8 o'clock.
8
8
Eastern.
o'clock. Okay.
I'll figure out a bot after I finish Duality.
Thank you, Justin.
Okay.
We
See ya.
appreciate you.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Good.